It's the morning of day 21 here in the center of Alaska, and it's a wonderful, dreary morning. We are camped on a sort of a ridge, and all of us have spent the morning sleeping in.
Perfect morning for sleepy sleep. Thankfully though, you can, even though it's rainy and cloudy, you can still see the glacier. That's cool.
Today is designated to be slow, and set aside for the guys to do as they please. Ryan has brewed the morning pot, and John and Peter are out gathering wild blueberries for this morning's pancakes. Morning chores are eventually completed as well. Tanner sets out solar panels to harness as much power from the sun, forecasted to come out around noon. And the boys whip up a trail fix for the broken awning leg. Ryan and I grab the spotting scopes to see what critters are around. And throughout the day we will observe 2 bull moose, a few cows, and a caribou. John and Tanner look for fish, and throughout their day, their bets continue to expand on who will catch the first and the biggest fish.
A little bit of rain coming through. Spectacular. It's hard to explain. And we're away from everything out here.
The boys go for a walk to explore the wilds. And along the beach, they locate a large grizzly print.
It's a big boy. You can see the claws, and it just keeps following it all the way over there.
I hope we don't run into this bear while we're down here.
And just as soon as the day seems to have started, dinner is on, and the evening is spent by the fire. Quite possibly one of the best days of my life. Expedition Overland's The Last Frontier is presented by General Tire and the Grabber X3. Anywhere is possible. And Toyota, the official vehicle provider of Overland, and in association with Patriot campers and PCOR systems. Dan, how's your finger?
Doing pretty good. I have no feeling in most of the finger, but I didn't really have much pain after the whole incident until last night and today. I can feel it in my bone, but I can still do everything fine, so.
It was a cold night. We're all up and running now. We're going to be deploying the boats, getting them out, setting them up. And we're going to go upriver as far as we can with the 2 trucks with the boats on top and try to get the boats into the river and float back down to here and get ourselves a little wilderness river experience as best we can by the end of about midday. Then we should come in here, load the boats up again, go do the river crossing, and then drop off the boats one more time, let some fishermen go down towards the main road. So should be a big day. It's not very often you get to go see a cool place like this from a river. Our goal is to get up as far to the glacier as possible to launch the boats. But the roads are getting fairly soft, giving Cyrus a challenge to work through. Cyrus is getting, that's the first time that Cyrus has, I think, ever been stuck, that he's got himself stuck. So I just had him hop out and see. He knows what it feels like in the car, now he's getting out to see what it looks like when you're outside of the car. I didn't think I was that stuck. Many folks are afraid of getting stuck, but it's nothing to fear. Getting stuck is part of overlanding. Don't let that potential situation hold you back. Get some training, practice a little, and embrace it as part of the journey. And I promise you that some of your best stories will come from it.
See the wheel.
There's no structure to that soil at all. All right.
Hey Clay, guess what?
What?
It's time to use the sock dryers as they are intended.
Yes!
Yes!
We get to use the front points on the truck. Been wondering what they're for. This is exactly what they're for. Onward! We have reached the end of the road, and it looks like we'll have to drop the boats here. Now we have just a few more hours of river experience, so hopefully this day goes a little better than the last. This first section looks to be pretty mellow, and that's okay. There's nowhere else we would rather be.
Excited. This is only my second time floating down a river in these boats, so this time I'm with Dr. John, so hopefully he's a bit better at rowing. Our last experience wasn't very calming, so hopefully this time we get some nice scenic ride and hopefully a little bit more chill on the river.
Should be an interesting afternoon here. It's kind of an unknown portion of the river. We're not really sure what we'll encounter, if it'll be high enough to float or if we'll have to get out and push. We've also got some weather coming in. It looks like maybe some rain coming over the hill here.
Would you have stand there, John?
Oh, just making sure that we've all got some safety gear, you know, an extra layer of warmth, the way to start a fire, maybe some calories in your pocket. Just, you know, probably all be fine, but it's good to be prepared.
It's never hard to tell these guys to eat something. What is hard is making sure that they have something for later. That's the trick. You can't eat the wrappers, boys.
The last cherry ones. Pop-Tarts. Savor it.
It will take us just over 2 hours to reach the campsite. 2 hours of total quiet and awe of this incredible place. Well, this is pretty special. Absolutely silent. There's hardly a breeze, just the creak of the boat. The drips of the water off the paddle. It's pretty. Lost solitude here. Trying to soak it all in, because within a week from now I'll be at home, back to the daily grind. And I'll be thinking about being right here, right now. Well, I'd say that was worth doing. We're landing right here at the trucks coming in, and now we're going to get them put up on the vehicles, get over to the next, cross the river with the whole team, and then drop them in and see if some guys want to go down and get to the confluence of the West Fork in here, see if they can get some fishing done. But the effort to do this float trip was well worth it. I'll remember this for a long time. It's amazing. With our camp already staged to move, we now need to cross the deep western fork of the river. In the hustle and bustle of trying to film, Cyrus has been left on the opposite side by himself and at the wheel. I wonder if there's a place for this on his permit experience document. Now the other guys are going to get a chance to fish, but the river is looking a little bit more intense.
John and I have a bit of a bet going. We decided the first one that's fishing at the same time that catches a fish, the other one has to shave their beard into a mustache. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna get down to the confluence of this river. We've heard there's grayling down there. So far, wherever we've fished on the trip, we haven't had any luck. We're gonna see if we can catch a fish or two. Hopefully it's me. I think he'd look great in a mustache. He's a doctor.
I'm really happy for you. Big day for Tanner. He's going to get to see what a trout looks like today after I catch it.
There's some big rocks in there.
Yeah, we better take his head on.
As John and Tanner bicker about who's a better fisherman, I don't think either of them have realized that getting to the fishing spot is going to be an adventure in itself.
Left or right?
Left! River left!
The fast-paced, bouldered river and the low experience levels appear to be generating a chaotic experience.
This is tricky.
Boat number 2 chooses river left, as river right has become a shallow mess of boulders.
Can we get out and pull it? Yeah, let me get those in.
The two competing fishermen seem to be the two who struggle the most.
We should shoot the rapids. Let's shoot the chutes! Tanner, come on! Come on, man!
Good thing the river looks to smooth out from here as it joins up with the McLaren River.
What an amazing spot. Yeah. There's the glacier. Oh, here's the confluence right here. Yeah. This side? Yeah. Good work. Let's see if we can catch a fish.
We're safe at the confluence and have pulled up on shore.
Excellent. May the fishing war begin.
John cut my line while I wasn't looking.
Well, nothing in these waters. It's dead. Not a single fish to be found.
Tanner catch anything?
0.
0, huh? Well, there must not be any fish here. Let's go.
With no sign of life in the confluence, the competition must be postponed. After all, we have some miles to make tonight as we make our way back to the southern end of mainland Alaska.
There are like a couple days I could save in my life to maybe do over. That afternoon was one of them. I mean, that was right up there.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Not every day you get to float a river and have a glacier in the background.
Unbelievable.
And have near-death experiences going through the rapids.
We almost died. Tanner was at the helm. I thought we were going overboard.
It is sad to say goodbye to this place, but there are new experiences to be had. And one has to say goodbye to one place to find the next. The trucks have been true workhorses, and I think it's safe to say they are the very best we have built. They have performed near flawlessly for their initial shakedown trip, and all of them have fulfilled their roles as intended within the convoy. You can't ask for more than that. The 6-hour travel day has landed us within striking distance tomorrow of some fishing grounds we would like to reach. And I think everyone will sleep well tonight in the chilly air. Good morning. We are camped high on a big tundra hill here, now in the south central part of Alaska. Pretty good push up from the Denali Highway yesterday to here. We're in this nice little pocket of no rain. Everywhere around us has been really rainy, so we were fortunate to have a good night. But however, it was the coldest night. Before we head out, we're going to have Dr. John give us another class. We'll probably crawl in the tent and get an instruction from him. Then we're going to move out, head back to near Willow, Alaska, where we have decided that we need a paid professional to help us catch big fish, and we need a boat. As we start to pack up, the boys are surprised by another impromptu scenario.
Wait, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, no.
Hey guys, we may need a little help over here.
Designed to make them do a patient assessment and learn proper splinting.
Does any feel broken?
So he's in Gore-Tex. Is the blood going to come through that? John's passion for teaching has really enhanced our trip. Learning from passionate people is inspiring, and I look forward to learning more from John in the future. But as far as I know, this will be the final medical class of the trip.
Like this, sometimes those blood vessels and nerves can get damaged. And a lot of times then there's not enough room inside the cast for the swelling. So pretty much everybody has gone to splinting. A little padding around his neck like that.
Nice work, gents. Yesterday, Peter put his boots in the front. You can see one over there. And I came over here after driving all the way down the Denali Highway and back over to this spot. It's still in there, so I took it out. It's under the bed of the 4Runner, stuffed under there, but he thinks it fell out somewhere.
What's funny about that is last night driving in here, he just wouldn't stop agonizing over the fact he lost one. And he's like, oh man, I can't believe it. I don't know. Why did I do that? So yeah, he's pretty worked up on it. Yeah.
Our destination today is Willow, Alaska, just 6 hours from here. But we first need to make our way out of here.
So we just got on the trail and we heard a rattling noise. Luckily it was nothing major. Pulled over and found out that our little battery tray bracket was getting loose, so tightened it down. But when we stopped, we found something else, which is a little more unique.
I was sitting in the 4Runner right there, and I looked over and I was like, oh, you're missing your shock reservoir on the rear shock. And it was tucked down in here. So
where the tires are up.
at some point, Unknown to us, it had the hose clamps had just broken, or we hadn't.
This is a great example of why you do a walk around of your trucks, preferably at night when you get into camp. You never know what could be an issue. Had we inspected the trucks for 5 minutes, we may have caught the loose clamps and saved a little wear and tear on the shock reservoir.
Marry me, shall never taste of joy. Sing, sing, the capes in view.
It was a good day of travel, and the guys seemed to be fulfilled. Now back on Willow Creek, we find a suitable campsite where we can build a base camp for the remaining days of the trip. This is the last setup of the trip, so we will work to establish a comfortable camp to maximize our enjoyment and comfort in the variable weather days ahead. Throughout the years of travel, I have found that slowing down and even becoming stationary is one of the best parts. Traveling fast is fun, but eventually it draws you to slow down. And when you slow down for a day or so, you will be ready to travel again. It's a sustainable balance, and it enriches your time on the road.
Plan for today. We are here today. We are not going anywhere. We will be here again tonight. Basically, enjoy being here. Slow-paced and patient and observant.
It's my morning to cook, so the Dutch oven is broken out. My intention is to redeem myself from our first night's meal as a team a few weeks ago. I'm making Mountain Man breakfast. It's a pretty easy recipe. All you need is some crumbled sausage, good breakfast veggies, and hash browns. When all that's cooked, pour in the eggs to bake it all together. After it sets up, add in lots of cheese for the final 25 minutes. Cooking over an open fire is fun, and it's in our heritage in the West. There's just something special about it. Perhaps it's because you have to be completely present when doing it. The result is hearty, and this should keep the guys going all day.
We've got really fun books to look through. I'm reading Camping and Woodcraft by Horage Kefhart, 1916. Expanded Legacy Edition on camping and woodcraft, and it is awesome to read. So yeah, having a great day. We'll see how it comes, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a competition today on fishing. That whole thing needs to be resolved because we're all about sick of hearing them bicker about it.
Oh, Tanner's over there on his laptop. I'm gonna go catch some fish.
Dr. John's stunt to find out how to fish the river before Tanner has not served him well.
Gators are full of water. Fish keep it here.
Dr. John, now filled with timid shame, as he should, because he has let the entire fly fishing community down, is stumbling and mumbling into camp.
He's just cussing over there.
Turn that off.
I noticed that Dr. John doesn't come out of his tent for a while. Come to find out, he's been preparing his next impromptu medical lesson.
One of you is going to have to operate. Who's got the steadiest hand? So here's the key to fish hook removal, all right? Unfortunately, I was fishing with a barbed hook, which is lodged down in the pad of my finger. So step one is to push down on the eye of the hook. Well, number one, cut the fishing line so you don't dig it in any farther. Then when you get to a place where you're steady and out of the water, you have to push down on the hook to dislodge the barb because it's generally caught in there. When you do that, what it does is it dislodges the hook, and at the same time you have to apply a pressure to the hook in this direction, which slides it out of the hole. It has to be done quickly with the perfect application of pressure. The key is the follow through. If one of you jerks this fly in my hand and doesn't follow through, I will find you in the middle of the night.
Any volunteers?
So step one is the anesthetic. Dan, would you remove the anesthetic from the medical kit?
Would that be your whiskey?
Fantastic. Sprinkle some on the wound, please. Every good wilderness medicine kit has a Mickey of Johnny Walker. Sterilize the surgical surface, please. That's enough. The rest is for the patient. Now we need a string of some kind.
Yes.
Oh God, that's tender.
Okay, you position it.
With no volunteers, that leaves his bunkmate, aka me, to do the dirty work. If I mess this up, it won't be hard for him to find me in the night.
So you push the tip down and then grab it out at the end because, oh, careful.
Wow.
And then grab it firmly. And then I'm gonna count to 3, and on 2, you're gonna jerk it.
Okay. Second.
And then you go, ow, ow! Jeez. You got it. Great. Okay, right there. Okay, so then you're gonna bring your hand back to here, and then you're gonna follow through to about back here.
Copy.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Perfect. Thank you.
I didn't want to get killed in the middle of the night.
Oh gosh.
With that out of the way, it's time for the two to actually resume their competition. But I'm not convinced there's fish in this river either.
Here, John, I could give you my salmon one. This has got a much better hook to go into your finger there.
Mm-hmm.
May the best fisherman win. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right.
One thing is for sure, someone is going to walk out of this trip with a mustache.
Personally, if a fish won't bite on a dry fly, it's not even worth catching.
After a couple more hours without fish, we all begin to suspect that there are no fish this far up the river.
Peter's been sick about it since we hid his boot. He was like, oh man, I think I can order one. And he's been stewing in the truck over it. Poor guy. So anyway, we'll get Dan and put both of his boots on because they share their boots all the time. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So we'll see if he catches it.
Yeah, you're wearing one of my boots. What?
Where was the second boot? Where'd you find the second boot?
To this day, we have never told him where the second boot was.
I think that would exceed my appendix weight limit.
Brian, Dan, and Peter have tasked themselves with building benches for around the campfire.
catch anything? There's nothing in here.
Oh, there's nothing in here.
There's not a fish in the
It's
state.
empty.
I did catch this nice chainsaw glove.
Ooh, nice.
Which I think I might make a sheath out of. I'm going to make a sheath out of it.
I also suggest we need a tripod for cooking tonight's dinner, which will be some surf and turf with some home-caught halibut.
One of my favorite things is working with wood, and especially when you're out camping, there's nothing better than going out, collecting some wood for firewood, splitting it. Ryan and I made a bench, or a bench to sit on. It kind of turned into a table. But yeah, cutting down the tree with chainsaws and then working on wood is one of my favorite things.
The hard work has paid off, and now we have a fire hanger so we can cook our halibut that was given to us through Tanner's Alaskan family. The tripod allows us to raise and lower the Dutch oven to regulate the fry oil temperature. It's essential to perfect our fried halibut that will complement our steaks tonight. Overland travel has a unique advantage when it comes to food. You don't have to survive out here, you can thrive. It just takes a little know-how and some quality gear, and your adventures will be changed for the better. And as those adventures grow, remember that food is at the top for best ways to maintain morale on any long trip or expedition.
Thank you, Ryan and Tanner.
I'm trying real hard to just be here and soak this up. And my parents always told me that they said, wherever you are, be all there. In other words, if you're in school, you shouldn't be thinking about hunting because then you're not learning anything. And if you're hunting, you shouldn't be thinking about school because then you miss the shot, for the bird or whatever. And so I'm trying to be all here right now, but I am really starting to miss my wife and my kids. And I'm anxious to get home, but I'm going to do the best I can to just enjoy the last couple nights in Alaska here, because once we go home, it'll be a long time before I come back.
It's an early morning for us, and our fishing guide Danny is pushing us upriver, where we all hope to catch some silver salmon and see if we can settle this little bet between Tanner and John once and for all.
Tanner, the conditions have changed.
Oh yeah?
It looks like we're fishing with bobbers and salmon eggs. So it kind of takes our old bet about fly rod versus spin caster and makes it obsolete.
Fair enough. Longest, heaviest?
Longest?
Longest fish.
Longest fish.
All right. Deal.
I am very excited. I love fishing, and I've always dreamed of coming up to Alaska to fish. So I'm hoping today's the day.
The first cast?
The first cast.
It appears the silvers are at the end of their run, which occurs at the end of their life as they make their way back to where they hatched to spawn and then die.
Woo! Woo! Cyrus! Wow.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead and open your barrel and let some slack out.
Hold them up.
Oh, nice.
This is my first time ever catching a fish on a spin rod.
We could catch other species as well, like kings and reds and the occasional pike. But it's the silvers we're after.
Wow. That's the first pike.
You better measure it, that's right.
I'm going to say it's about 24 inches, John. I think pushing 25.
We're going to measure it because this is the first fish that is counting towards the
That is
official
true. Yeah, no
ruling.
fish goes unmeasured, right?
one forearm.
Yep. So from finger to elbow. Yep.
Well, the competition is fully in play now. Tanner has 1, John has 0, Clay has 0, Cyrus has 1.
Tanner now has his second fish on, possibly a silver salmon.
Yep, he'll want to take a couple of.
Got him.
That's a big fish. Holy crap. Go ahead, no.
This is definitely a dream come true here. Always wanted to come up here and fish salmon in Alaska. Now I have. It's amazing.
Check it out, John. Ta-da!
Okay, John, it's your turn.
Plenty of time, Tanner. Plenty of time. I'm not worried.
I'm not either. John's got one.
Looks like he's.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I see there is a difference.
Let's see him. Look at that. Nice. It's a video, John. We're not taking photos.
Oh. Well, it was a little small, but Tanner's has had a while to kind of sit there out of the water, and they start to expand a little bit. It's a little known fact about salmon.
We'll see where yours gets once yours expands.
True.
Now really feeling the pressure, John puts in one more attempt to negotiate the rules.
We're gonna lay them all end to end now and measure them.
It's not how long.
See who caught the most length of salmon.
We both limited out.
Yeah. Lots of limit of salmon in Alaska.
Whoa. Easy there, buddy.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Limit of salmon in
limited
Alaska.
out. Just kidding on the first one.
Sometimes you need a little help to have a dream realized. No shame in my mind. You get only one shot at this life. And if you have the chance to make it happen, then you better. After all, tomorrow is never guaranteed.
Yep. Cut you some butter.
Yes, please.
Pretty good.
Timer?
While dinner is cooking, Dan finds some space to himself and starts on his next whittling project. This time with some gloves on.
Alright, yeah, that's fine.
Alright, get her while she's hot. Come on in.
Sorry.
Well, this Alaska chapter is coming to a close, but every time I do a trip like this as a wilderness or an expedition doc, I get to go back to the emergency department with a renewed enthusiasm for taking care of people on nights and holidays and weekends. And so these kind of wilderness experiences are important for me professionally, because I think and I hope that it makes me a better and more compassionate doctor when I get home. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and I can tell you that life and death plays out every day on the stage of the emergency department, and our lives are like an hourglass, and the sand in them is like the time we have left on this earth. But none of us know how much time is left. And so if you want to get out and explore, you have to do it today.
Alaska is huge. You gotta come up here and see it. It's truly the last frontier, as they always say. Left me wanting more, that's for sure. It did not disappoint. Being able to be on the river, some great guys fishing for silver salmon, something I've always wanted to do. Finally got a chance to do it, and we were successful. And I still have my beard, which was a big bonus there. Caught the biggest. Not gonna brag or anything.
I've really just had such an amazing time here. It's gonna be really hard to leave. I mean, I was talking about doing fishing and bushcrafting and just learning a lot from all the guys here in the beginning of the trip, and I have no regrets. Like, I've checked everything and way more than I ever thought would be a possibility on this trip.
The thing I was most afraid of was little things turning into big things as far as complications go. A lot of times you can have something inconsequential turn into a deal breaker, a game breaker, a trip ender. And that didn't happen. So that's great. We had little things happen. So it's not an absence of little problems, but what we did accomplish was paying attention to the little things and then avoiding the little things becoming big things.
It was really great to be able to be here with such a top-notch crew and then get to learn what I can as one of the younger guys and just, you know, always up my levels as we go along. Getting to go out with people who know what they're doing, that can run at a high level of expertise for a long time and just smoothly.
I really love being up here. It was such a great experience for a young guy like me. And if you're young and you want to go travel, I say go for it, because it's one of the best things you can do in your lifetime. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity I got to do. I mean, I'm sure I'll be back up here again one day with my 2 younger brothers, or even with my whole family. I don't know, but that'd be really awesome.
And even though this trip is coming to an end, I mean, these memories are going to stick with me forever. So just really thankful, really happy, and pretty excited to get back.
Alaska has been a big part of my life. From the first time I got to work up here to coming back here with the team with Expedition Overland in 2013 on our first big trip, and now being back here again with my son and a great group of guys. You couldn't ask for a more, dare I say, precious time to be together in a most spectacular place. If you have an ounce of adventure in you, should come and experience Alaska. This is a place that really stirs the soul, and it helps give anyone, I think, that comes here new perspectives.
I'm definitely going to be coming back here. Amen.
Adventure forges you into the better version of who you are, or who you are meant to be. And in the end, the person you came in as will be left for the version that returns. Who that is up to you. After all, as an overland traveler, destinations are only the looking glass we choose to observe what is within. And the process of adventure ultimately leads us into ourselves. And that inner place, found in all of us, is truly the last frontier.
Caught the biggest fish. John's mustache looks amazing.